Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm so excited to be filming. It's been a few days since I have filmed and I'm just in a really good mood, but today we're going to be doing a speed reviews video. I've been planning to do this for a while. I've tried so many new makeup products over the past few months and I wanted to just kind of give quick thoughts on them now that I've had a little bit of time to play around with them a little bit more. So I hope you enjoy the video. If you are new here, my name is Blair. I do all kinds of beauty and makeup content here on YouTube every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I hope you'll stick around and subscribe. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, let's get into it. I hope this isn't going to be a super long video, but we have lots of products to go through. So let's get into it. The first one is probably one I'm most excited to share my thoughts with you, and it is the Rare Beauty Blurring Pore Minimizing Primer, I think is the name of it. I don't even know the exact name. Yeah, Pore Diffusing Primer. I tried this a while back in a video. I'm typically not a primer person. I think I have found my primer. If I'm going to use a primer, I think this is going to be the one, you guys. I really like this. I actually get asked about primers quite a bit, and I always just say I'm not really a primer person because I've never had a primer that I loved until that one. And what I love the most about it is it truly smooths out this area, like my T-zone in particular, especially right here on the sides of my nose and my cheek. That's where I notice my pores, especially with really glowy foundations. That is the perfect product to apply in my T-zone so that I can use my glowy foundations but not get too much glow, because there's always a fine line with glowy complexion products. If you use too much or you use too many, you can start to look a little bit like the Tin Man. And I've never had a primer that I thought toned it down just enough until this one. So this I am loving. All right, next we're gonna talk about foundations. Got quite a few to talk about. So let's start with the one that I'm wearing today with that Rare Beauty primer. And it is the Synchro Skin Radiant Lifting Foundation from Shiseido. I will be honest, when I tried this out in a video, I definitely liked it, but I wasn't like over the moon excited about it like I thought I was going to be. But I think I figured out why. And the reason is this, again, is a very glowy foundation, which I love. But I actually love it paired with that Rare Beauty primer in my T-zone. That's what I did today, and it still gives me that glow that I really like, but it just tones it down just a little bit, because I typically prep my skin with lots of skincare and hydrating products, and sometimes it can be a bit much. So I'm really excited to have that primer. But now that I've discovered I like to use the primer with this foundation, I love it. I think this is stunning. It's up there with my Nars foundation that I love. Can't say I like that quite as much yet, but it's close. Next, we have two kind of similar products, I guess. So the IT Cosmetics CC Glow and the Rare Beauty Tinted Moisturizer. These are, I would say, pretty similar. So the IT Cosmetics has SPF 40. I have the shade Light. Right now I have on Self Tan, so the shade Light is good for me, but it's definitely a bit dark if I don't have any Self Tan on. Honestly, my thoughts on this are it's pretty. I like it, but I don't love it. And I can't really say a specific reason as to why. It's just not something that blows me away when I wear it. I like it, but I don't love it. I have to say I like the Rare Beauty Tinted Moisturizer a little bit more. It is glowy, but not quite as glowy in my opinion as the IT Cosmetics. I'm finding, I don't know if it's because I'm getting a little bit older or what, but I kind of have to be careful that I'm not using too much glowy foundation or other products on my face, just because my skin is definitely changing. I'm about to turn 30 in a few months, and I definitely notice differences in my skin This one, I really like how it looks. This almost has a slight blurring quality to it. It definitely has some glow, but definitely has a bit more of a blurring aspect to it than the It Cosmetics. The It Cosmetics is extremely dewy and glowy, so if that's what you want, you would probably like that. But my pick of the two would be the Rare Beauty. Next is the Makeup Forever HD Skin Undetectable Stay True Foundation. Very long name. You guys, I like this, but I don't love it. I'm kind of surprised to say that because I know people have been raving about this and I think it's beautiful, but I don't know, I don't get super excited to wear this like I do this one or like I do the Nars foundation that I'm always talking about. This one is okay. It's pretty. I will definitely use it. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't know. I just didn't love it as much as I thought I was going to. It's definitely, I would say, a bit more on the soft matte side, and it's a very pretty formula. It looks like skin, but I don't know, something about it just isn't blowing me away. I don't think it's bad, but I definitely don't like it as much as the Shiseido and the Nars. And then the last foundation I love, and it's the L'Oreal Age Perfect 4-in-1 Tinted Balm. I can't remember, have I used this in a video? I think I have. I know I've used it on Instagram, but this is a beautiful drugstore foundation if you can find a color that works for you. This is the shade Light number 10, and this works really well for me. Really, really well for me. But what I will say about this is they tend to run a little bit warm. A few of you have messaged me and told me you thought they look a little bit orangey, and I do agree with that 100%. And what's interesting is online, when you pull these up, they are described as all being a neutral undertone. To me, these are definitely not a neutral undertone. They definitely lean more on the warm orangey side. I totally agree with that. So that sucks. I wish so badly that they would come out with new shades, introduce some new ones, leave the shades that they have, but they need some more, because that's the issue with this. But it is beautiful on the skin. It is beautiful. I would say it's a light coverage. I don't even think a medium. I would say light to light medium coverage is all you're going to get from this, but it is so hydrating, so pretty, so natural looking. I will say if you have super oily skin, I think you can still use this, but you would definitely need to powder it just a little bit because it is super hydrating. But this is one of my new favorites from the drugstore. Next, I have two newer concealers to me. The first one is the Bobbi Brown Skin, I think it's the Skin Concealer Stick. This is the stick version of the new Corrector from Bobbi Brown that I'm always talking about, and I bought this because I loved the Corrector so much, and this is the same exact way. I love this too. I love the formula on this, you guys. If you've tried it, comment down below. I know a lot of you have tried it. So this is the shade Sand, and this is the prettiest velvety, smooth formula. It is not glowy, but it's not super matte. It's definitely just a natural skin finish, satin finish. This is a stunning product. I highly recommend this and the Corrector from Bobbi Brown. I would say it's a solid medium coverage, definitely not a full coverage, but very, very good. I love that one. The second one is the Shiseido Self-Refreshing Concealer, I think is what it's called. This is the shade Light 201. This one I like, but I can't say that I'm obsessed with it. I like it, but it's definitely not a like all-time favorite for me. So that is it right there. This is a bit more of a matte concealer, like a soft matte, not in a bad way matte. And I don't know why when I bought this, I thought it was going to be more on the hydrating side. I guess I thought it was going to be like the Shiseido Skin Radiant Foundation. It's not. It's definitely more on the matte side, but it's very pretty. So if you like, I would say again, medium coverage, definitely not a full coverage, and you like something a bit more satin matte under your eyes, but you don't want something super thick and cakey, like Shape Tape or just a thicker consistency, you might really like this. And it's very pretty. I'm not saying I don't like it. I just, based on using it a few times, I like it. I don't love it. It is what I have on today, and it does pair beautifully with the foundation. But I gotta say, I like the Bobbi Brown just a little bit better. Next, I have a few newer bronzers to me. The first one is the Persona Bronze Multi-Stick in the shade Dune. They did send this to me, and I was dying to try this, so I was so excited that it was coming to me. Here is a swatch of it. This is stunning, you guys. This is the perfect, like, I put bronzer on, but I didn't really try that hard kind of bronzer. It is, I would say, more of a balmy consistency. It's not super opaque, but it's very buildable, and it's very, I would say, like a natural skin finish. Definitely not matte, definitely not super dewy, just kind of right in between. If you are scared of cream products, I feel like this would be a really good beginner bronzer for you. I've loved using this. The second one is the Rare Beauty Warm Wishes bronzer stick. This is the shade Happy Soul. This is, I would say, the opposite of the Persona stick. This one is more of a matte finish. That is the shade Happy Soul. So you can see the difference between the two. So there's Dune and there's Happy Soul. So Happy Soul is a bit more cool toned, not quite as warm. That is what I have on today. And although it is cooler toned, it still comes off pretty warm on my skin tone. But this, when I tell you this is the silkiest bronzer to blend, like, I am not kidding. It blends out so easily. I honestly think you could probably blend this with your fingers very easily because it is so creamy and smooth. This is much more of, I would say, like a makeup-y bronzer, whereas the Persona is more of like a throw it on and go, put it on your eyes, your lips, your cheeks, everywhere, just for like a minimal makeup look. But I have to say, I've been loving both of those, as well as this one from the drugstore. I have talked about this many times, but I wanted to mention it quickly. The Neutrogena Healthy Skin Natural Radiance Bronzer in the shade Sunkissed. This is definitely a hidden drugstore gem. I do not see very many people talking about this at all, and this is a stunning bronzer. It has 4 different shades of bronze. As you can see, 2 of them are a bit more cool toned, and then the other 2 are much warmer. So when you mix them together, it's just the perfect, just like the name, sun-kissed bronze. And that's exactly how I would describe it. I love this on my eyes for eyeshadow. It is so good. My only issue with this is, again, the shades. I think this is the only shade, sun-kissed. Neutrogena, if you ever see this, please come out with this in different shades because the formula is fantastic on this. All right, let's move on to one of my favorite things in the whole world, which is blush. Let's talk about my absolute true love in a cream blush, and it's the Rare Beauty in the shade Happy. You guys, I did a whole reel dedicated to this blush. That's how much I love it. And ironically, this reel has my most views ever on a reel. I think it's like at like 40,000 or something like that right now. But this is, if I could make a blush, my perfect cream blush, this would be it. And I think it's the fact that it's dewy, it's pink, it's like an electric pink. It's just not a standard pink that you typically see. It's a very poppy pink, but it just blends out so beautifully. This is what I have on my cheeks today, and I love it. If I ever did run out of this, I kind of doubt that I would because you need the tiniest bit of this. I would 1010% repurchase this. I also have the shade Hope. This was my first love in this blush, and I still do love this as well. But the Happy shade is much newer to me. These, I love them. I love them, if you couldn't already tell. Also new from Huda Beauty, this is the Cheeky Tint Blush Stick, I think is what it's called, and this is the shade Proud Pink. I will say this is very similar to Happy. So here is the difference here. So this is Rare Beauty and this is Proud Pink. Rare Beauty, Proud Pink. So they're very, very similar. Rare Beauty definitely has the dewiness to it, but not like this one. The Huda Beauty has a little bit of shimmer to it. It's not glitter or anything that you're really gonna notice, but it definitely has a bit more radiance to it, more than the Rare Beauty one does. But I love them both. The colors, like you can see here, are very, very similar. I do think the Huda Beauty one is just a little more cool toned than Happy from Rare Beauty, but I love them both. Very, very pretty. My ultimate pick though would still be the Rare Beauty liquid blush and Happy. My newest powder blush is the SuperBlush from Persona in the shade Bubble, and I wanted this for so long, and now that I finally have it, it did not disappoint me at all. This color looks so scary, but then when you put it on, it is so stunning. It's just that naturally flushed, like baby doll pink, and it looks so pretty over so many of my cream blushes. Today I have it on over the Happy blush from Rare Beauty, and it is just, it's stunning. It's very similar to Dior Backstage in Rosy Glow. This one is very, very similar. I know Dior is kind of hard to get your hands on, so if you want that, I would highly recommend this one. It is just as good. Very beautiful. Then I have two highlighters. Both of them are from Charlotte Tilbury. So we have the Beauty Light Wand in Pillow Talk, and then the new Multi Glow from Charlotte Tilbury, and this one is the shade Romance Light. So I bought both of these on the last day of the Sephora sale. So this is the powder highlight in Romance Light, and I'm just going to be honest with you, the reason that I bought this is because I'm a Charlotte Tilbury addict and I love the packaging. I basically am going to buy anything that she comes out with that says Pillow Talk, and that's just who I am. But do I think you like absolutely have to have this? No, I don't. It is very pretty. That's it there, swatched with kind of mixing all the shades together. But I will say, I do think you could find something similar that's not as expensive as this. I want to say this is like between $40 and $50. I'll have to check, but it's very pretty. I don't regret buying it, but it's definitely not a necessity. And this right here, the Beauty Light Wand in Pillow Talk, this I have on today on over the blushes that I was talking about, and this is very, very beautiful. I think when I bought this, I originally said that I would pick the powder over this, but now that I've kind of used them, I would pick the cream, I think, over the powder, just because to me cream highlights look a lot more natural and they just blend into your skin a lot better. I do think this is much easier to apply to the back of your hand. Get it on your sponge or your brush and then just tap it on. That's what I did today, and I think it's very beautiful. Again, I don't ever really think you need to spend a ton of money on a highlighter. I just feel like if you're gonna spend money, spend it on foundation, concealer, corrector, things like that. But I do like it, and I would choose this over the powdered highlighter. Okay, let's talk about eyeshadow for a second. I haven't gotten a ton of eyeshadow in the last few months. I just haven't been, I don't know, I haven't been super drawn to eyeshadow, but I did buy the Nars Summer Unrated eyeshadow palette. This is their newest palette that is, I think, limited edition, like pretty much all of the Nars eyeshadow palettes, and I absolutely love this palette. This is what I have on my eyes today, and I absolutely adore this. I did not have a Nars eyeshadow palette, so I really wanted one, but I've never seen one that spoke to me like this one. This is so versatile. You can do so much from a really everyday minimal look with a few of these matte tones to something really glam and smoky with this dark, kind of a grayish color, then some of these deeper shimmers. So good. The formula is beautiful. It blends so well. Like I said, that's what I have on my eyes today, and I have thoroughly enjoyed having this. I also bought, as you probably know, the Patrick Ta Major Dimension Rose eyeshadow palette. What I will say is I am a Patrick Ta fanatic. I love him. I love the brand, and I just want everything that they come out with. And this is obviously no exception. I'm gonna buy any palette he comes out with, regardless of what the color scheme is. But I will say, I think if you are trying to decide between these two palettes, I think the Nars is just more versatile. With this, obviously, it's called the Rose palette, and that's what it is. You're gonna get a very pinky, red toned look with pretty much any combo you do with this palette. Now, obviously, depending on if you're using the lighter tones or the darker tones, you might get a deeper or a lighter look in terms of the tone, but you're gonna get a very similar look in terms of color. Whereas with the Nars palette, you can get, like you can get a rosy look with this, you can get it with Nars as well, but you also get just really good neutrals. You get a little bit of purple, a little bit of pink, you get some gold, you get this dark smoky shade. So if you were trying to choose between the two, I honestly would choose the Nars. But if you're a fanatic about Patrick Ta like me, I don't think you will be unhappy with this. And then the other thing that I've gotten recently is from Give. This is Gwen Stefani's makeup brand, and this is the Simple Kind of Life eyeshadow palette. That is the color. So it is 4 really light matte tones. Do I think everyone is going to love this? Probably not, just because the colors are very light, they're very muted, they're all matte, but this is the perfect palette for a makeup minimalist. If you are a light medium skin tone and you like very earth toned, basic, neutral colors, no shimmer, I think you would love this. It's very easy to use. They are not overly pigmented and just very approachable for someone that is maybe new to makeup and doesn't want a ton of variety. You would probably love this. I really haven't tried too many mascaras recently, but I did get the MacStack mascara. This is the Mega brush. So they came out with the Mega and the Mini, is that what it's called? With the smaller brush, that's probably the wrong name, but this is the Mega, this is a mini size. You guys, I'm just not in love with this mascara. I know it blew up all over TikTok and people were saying this is the best thing ever that has ever happened to their lashes, and I think it is good, but it's definitely not a favorite. I would not repurchase it. It looks good on my lashes with one coat, but it is very clumpy after that. I don't know where this whole, you can just build it and build it and build it and build it and not get clumps. I have not experienced that personally. Even on the wand, I don't know that you can even really tell. It gets clumpy on the very, very end. So you have a little bit of teeth right here and product collects there. It's kind of like the Benefit, their Real mascara. The brush on that is very similar to this. Product collects there. So you can't really use it like to get in smaller places, which I think is what it's intended for in my experience, because it just clumps. You just get too much product and it doesn't look good. It just doesn't look good. So today I put on one coat of this, and I will say one coat does look really good. But in terms of this being the best mascara ever and you know, buildable and it doesn't clump and all that. I don't agree. I think it's okay, but nothing super great. For lip liner, I got the Pat McGrath Permagel in the shade Contour during the Sephora sale. This was something that was on my wish list for a very long time. I finally got it, and like I would tell you about a lot of lip liners, there are definitely some that I think are more worth the money in terms of spending it. I do think this formula is good, but do I think you like have to have it? No, I don't. So this is Contour right here, and it's a beautiful color. That's mainly why I wanted it, was because of the color, and it does last pretty well on my lips, but I do not think it's so good to the point that you need to spend like 30 something dollars on this, or 28, I forget how much it is. I like it, I use it, I will use it, but this from NYX is also new to me, and to me this is just as good. I've been reaching for it just as much, if not more, and it's the Line Loud lip pencil. So this is their newer lip line, and I'll swatch this for you. So this is, oh, okay, so this is it right here. So the colors are not identical. The Contour shade from Pat McGrath is a little cooler toned. The Global Citizen from NYX is a bit more, I would say like a mid-toned neutral brown. But they do look similar on the lips. And honestly, I don't see a whole lot of difference in terms of longevity on my lips with these two. I do think NYX is a bit creamier. This one is a little waxier. It's a little more similar to Charlotte Tilbury lip cheats. I love both of these, and just being honest, I've probably reached for my NYX even more than I've reached for the Contour. So if you love the color and you really want a Pat McGrath lip liner, I think this is good. But do I think you have to spend the money? No. And we'll end with a few other lip products. The first is the Merit, I think these are the Signature lipsticks. These are 10 out of 10 in my opinion. Very, very creamy. I would say kind of a cross between a lip balm and a lipstick. This is the shade Baby. That's it there. It's a little, I would say it's a rosy nude, a little more on the cool tone side. I do have this on today, and I love the packaging. I love the formula. It is comfortable. I will say you do have to reapply it, because that's just kind of how this type of lip product performs most of the time. But other than that, I think it's stunning. It's a great thing to have in your purse, just to throw on. Doesn't take a lot of effort or time or anything. It's very, very, very good. I love this a lot and would recommend it. Last is the Givenchy Rose Perfecto Balm in the shade 001. So this is, it kind of has marbled, or the balm looks like a marbled effect in the packaging. And I have this on over the Merit lipstick. I just put a little bit of it like right in the center. And this, again, good, but I don't know that it's worth the price, to be honest. I think it's pretty, it's nice, but you could get a very similar effect with like the new L'Oreal Glow Paradise Balm and glosses that came out pretty recently. This, the one thing I will say about this is this color, the 001, changes with your pH, so it looks a little bit different on everybody, which is kind of cool. It's very nice, and I like it, but I don't love it enough to say like buy another color in it. I think it's nice, but a little expensive for what it is. All right, you guys, that is going to be it for this speed reviews video. I hope you enjoyed. I know several of you said you like this style of video where I kind of just give you updated thoughts on these things after I've had them for a little while. So hopefully this was helpful, and I'm so happy to be back filming. I had to take a few days off the last few days, but I am back and I'm happy to be back. Thank you for being here and supporting me as always. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. If you're new, I hope you'll subscribe and go follow me over on Instagram at simply.blair and TikTok simply.blair1. I will see you next time. Remember, simply be you. Bye.
Sunday morning, waking up with you. We got no plans, we got nothing.